$6 here as a clean resistance for the AIRE trade. So with that, ended up leading to the pop up towards it, and then it thing came right back down. So that was just funny timing there. I was calling out like, oh, we should see big resistance at 15. And like before I even finished typing it, just splat right there. So yeah, we're going to move away from this trade for right now. If it was a lot more liquid, that would be a different story. That's going to be the theme of the day today. We're working with a very volatile market. So we're not going to just try and follow every low flow, low volume stock. The shoe's got to fit right here. Again, same thing with this TSBX. It's only trading 670,000 on the total on the day in total. So when you look at the order book, it looks pretty scarce. That's something I'll pass on. This could be a buyout. Actually, you know what? For the curious mind here, I'm actually going to check, just see what the news is on this THRX. It's so choppy and flat. We're not going to put it on our list. But anytime I see a trend like this, it kind of screams buyout to me. Let's see. Looks like THRX announces a process to explore strategic alternatives. That kind of sounds like possible buyout to me, but that's the only headline I'm seeing there. There's nothing more to it. Just anytime you see a stock flatten out like this, you typically just say buyout and you move on from it. That's all. All right. ACIC, nice chart. Looks like it's having a good day. Likely another low volume, low float type of stock. You got to really put this under a microscope here and try and weed out like the low volume stocks. And like this PXMD definitely was that from earlier today, and great pop from before, but a lot of these low float, low volume are going to look like this over time. You get the Christmas tree pattern, the Burj Khalifa pattern. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be on the top of the roller coaster. Now, this TPIC, good book, nice pop from earlier, so that does check out. Just it already shook down here, so I'll come back to this if you want me to. T-pick, I'll put this on our side list at least. Maybe come back to it at the end. And we keep it moving. So, wow, really, there's a lot of stocks up big percentage-wise. Now, I know Fausto had called out this plug trade from earlier today. Really, from the morning session, he was on top of it. And then from heading into the early afternoon, it was making a higher high. Well, the stock was coming off of bad earnings, bad news. So there's a gap, so to say, on the daily chart. There is activity from that pre-market that morning from Friday. So for as much as it can fill the gap, what happens when the volume dies off? What happens when we happen to see this fail to break higher? Look what happened to AMC, right? Just a few days ago, we had a great call out on this stock. Fausto was head on it, right at the market open at $8. But I want to show this to you here just to prove the point. Once this ends up hitting its peak, they really fall off pretty fast, like twice as fast as they, make the move up with. So this was the trade that we had on AMC back then. Same deal with plug. Same deal. So I'm going to pass on it here for this afternoon. We did really well on the stock from earlier. All right, so I'll tell you, there's definitely a few more here that stick out. My scanners are refreshing here. So if there's anything else looking good, folks, up that 5% or more. Obviously, we're still at like 15% here on the gainer side. So, if there is anything looking pretty good, that's like a name brand stock, let me know. Redfin. Now, this was coming off bad news maybe like a week or two ago, maybe a few days ago at that, just with the real estate brokerages upcharging on commissions, I thought. RDFN took a huge hit. Zillow took a huge hit then. It does seem as if they've recovered, though. Looking at today, Redfin made a nice gap up with the market and popped pretty nice. Zillow definitely looking a little bit sharper with its recovery today. I'm just talking looking at the daily chart here, the candle. So, maybe keep them on your side list. Come back to them maybe tomorrow morning. All right. So, hey, I got to do my job, folks. Got to go across the losers list here as well. But, we'll probably keep it more to the stocks that are moving with the market on the way up. If there's anything looking good there, definitely type it in. Skin down big here today, dropping actually back down. And it is easy to borrow, but it is too close to my liking, or for my liking, to the ground floor, the literal ground floor. So, Yeah, I mean, if this was like a $3 stock, it'd be a different story, but pass on it. All right, keep it going though. SE had a huge drop earlier today. I know one of our students, Mark, was all over this. A few more of our students were calling it out just before. Uh, it looks a little flat, but looking at it more here, zoomed in, it's making lower highs. It's pulling back down, and it's a lot closer to the low of the day than it is the high of the day. So I'm actually going to add this to our list here too. We got IO and Q on the way up. We got this SE on the way down so far. We'll check in to see if there's anything else looking good either way. Oh, I'll tell you what. I mean, the crypto stocks taking a big hit right now. HUT here is down a lot percentage wise, but when we take a look at Mara and Coinbase, both of them were getting crushed earlier today. I just mean in terms of direction, just steady downtrend there. Mara, Coinbase really weak under 93 or 92.90 ish. That was the price I was looking at yesterday. So with it gapping up above it this morning, I was hoping that this right here, wait for it, no. This right here would be strong support. Bounced at first, but when it's coming back down, it's like, all right, we're not seeing lower highs here. I'm sorry, we're not seeing higher lows here. So, obviously, the more times this support level gets nipped and gnawed at, it's going to break. Let's see. Anything else otherwise? CSIQ. Nah, pass on that. Yesterday's mover EVA. It was actually pre-market mover this morning as well, but ended up dropping off a little bit afterwards too. Damon saying Nasdaq's kicking some ass right now. Yeah, whole market's pushing back up really nicely. I just like looking at the SPY. So either way you cut it, NDX, SPX, all looking pretty strong here. Damon saying Maya, MAIA, ran from 217 up from $1.68. Yeah, but this thing is just really thin volume, though. It's not really something we would advocate for anyone to really trade. And I just say that because of the low volume, thin orders out there. If it was showing better life, then I'd be more inclined to follow it, Damon. Maybe it will, but for right now, looking at how it looks here, I'll pass. There's a lot that looks like this. There's a lot that looks like this. You don't want to have this on our watch list. Same with even this BCDA here. It's up 183%. You'd think that maybe it could pop one more time. Stock like this normally is more exhausted. So it's going to likely make either a second win type of pop, makes a lower high, and then slams down, or it's not going to care to make the second win type of move. It's just going to slam back down first, and that's it. So, that's where I got to be a little bit more reluctant on those types of stocks. But from Abdul, same thing on Plug. Plug is just coming off bad news. So it dropped off 2 days ago, right? We saw that. It had a nice dead cat bounce today, but that's where it ends. We just went over it before on the AMC example. Just look at AMC. We had a great call out 2 days ago or 3 days ago, but you don't want to get stuck, expecting another run up on it. Yet last week's flavor is not today's flavor. Even this morning's flavor is not necessarily this afternoon's flavor. So that's where we're kind of building up a different list now at this point. Now, that's where I will say, though, I got to keep cycling through, though, because current time is 2:43. I only put 2 stocks on our list. That's it. I feel like I got to be more inclined to add another 1 or 2 more before we hop off here. So, AIRE trying to go back up right now. You know what I'm going to say. I am not a fan of the volume on the book here. I got to say, I'm not a fan of the trend. So, I guess I will add AIRE to our list, put it on the back of our watch list, though. It's obviously a level 5 stock. This thing was a new IPO, looks like back from October time. Hold up here. Time out here. There is no way this went from however much to 623 to 575. I don't think so. I think that we would have been here for that. Did they already do a reverse stock split? Did this company here already offer a reverse stock split? I'm trying to figure that out right now because that is a wild daily candle right there. And we would have known if that stock ended up actually making that move. So is this Micro Mobility? Is that the name of this company? Re-Alpha Tech. All right, I'll figure this out here at least, folks, and get to the bottom of that. But yeah, I mean, perhaps given how much it did drop off from the highs, there could be a little bit more recovery room. Like that could be a selling point to us putting this on our list. It's still a level 5 stock. I wouldn't want a new student to be trading this whatsoever. You have a lot easier time following IO and Q. Um, even for a more experienced trader, I would, if I'm trading this, which I'm not, if I were to take a stab at it, it'd probably be on like 200 shares, 250 shares max. Wouldn't be doing anything more than that. Don't need to. Make $1 on that, you're feeling pretty good. What do you think about LUV and BKNG since the holidays are coming? So, was it Booking.com, BKNG? So something like this, we're not really looking at, to be honest with you, here as like a trade, something this expensive. But obviously, if you're referring to the airlines and maybe travel altogether, right? That's obviously different. And LUV definitely within our price range. A lot of these airlines are American Airlines, Delta, et cetera, et cetera. So um, I guess it depends on what airline you prefer. I'm a Delta guy through and through. And not only that, I know from the last 2 quarters that Delta has beat their earnings and revenue. And I believe they've raised their guidance the last 2 quarters. How do I know that so directly? Because I day traded Delta the last 2 times, and both times, even though they beat earnings and raised their guidance, they completely tanked their earnings day. This right here, and then this right here. So I'm a Delta guy. I love the airline. Not really a consistent day trade as far as like buying the news. Now, as a swing trade, obviously a bit different. And, if you're thinking long term heading into the end of this year, I am bullish across the entire market, Damon, heading into the end of this year, into the beginning of next. We were saying that earlier today in Traders Talk. For anyone new that's joining us here, like on YouTube, I've been saying that since honestly like late September, and that wasn't the perfect time for it. I was wrong at first, and we saw more of a drop off, and then we got our big ass bounce. So, hey, I'm happy to be right the last 2.5 weeks. That's for damn sure. And I think that there's more room to go. And with that, I'm sure rising tide lifts all boats. Where especially for holiday season, travel, etc., see a good push in the airlines, right? Booking.com, maybe, right? How about TripAdvisor? I feel like TripAdvisor as well. Trip ended up having earnings last week too. They seem pretty strong. So you can keep that in mind. Now, anything else, folks? Last call. Let me know here lastly before we finish up. I had a little audio issue just as we started the meeting, but good to go now. So my guy Vincent here on Facebook asking about Jets. I don't know if he's asking about Fausto's New York Jets, because I don't think that's a good question to be asking, Vincent. Well, I also wouldn't be asking about my New York Giants. That's for damn sure. Now, I'm kidding, of course. Vincent's referring to the ETF, airline ETF, Jets, and that would be a great ticker to follow, that whole kind of concept of travel, airlines, holiday season travel, etc. BCDA, lastly, from Richard. This is more exhausted, I feel, at this point. I'm going to pass on it for right now. It's tradable. I mean, it's got a great spread, great book, great everything here. But I think for something that normally trades very little volume day to day, for it to be trading nearly 130 mil right now, this is what we call the second wind type of move. Normally, it'll hit VWAP and then tank. So I'm reluctant with putting this on our list for that reason. It's tradable, though. So in the rare event where this ends up actually making a stronger pop, then once Rich is on the mic, give it like 12, 15 minutes. If nothing else is moving from our list and this starts to keep revving up, we'll make the switch then. Uber, we talked about it before. It's a good swing trade, not really a great day trade. Pretty slow for $54 stock. No harm with that. It's a great swing trade. Just kind of for our watch lists here in the morning and then in the afternoon, we're focused on stocks that we are primarily getting in and out of quickly, right? So Uber is definitely a great swing trade, though. Now, as we finish this meeting up, T-Pick, the stock I said I would at least jump back to. Look at this. Making a really strong push back up and actually back over the VWAP. So T-Pick here, TPIC, I'll add to our watch list to wrap up. Vincent saying, how about those Buffalo Bills on Facebook on our streams right now? Yeah, right. Jeez, you got Josh Allen with the most interception. I'm on to college basketball, Vincent. Actually, I'm on to college basketball so much so I got my Butler Bulldog background here for all of us right now. 3-0 college basketball. Let's go. All right. So with that, folks, we are going to wrap up here. Hey, if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, focus more on trading rather than sports at least, feel free to scan that QR code on the top left on our streams there. Get you access to a week-long trial inside our live trading room. Otherwise, though, feel free to shoot me over any emails, any questions or trades. If you want to talk Buffalo Bills, Vincent, feel free to shoot me over a quick email on top, josh@ctutrading.com. But my colleague Rich will be on the mic in just about 10, 12 minutes, folks. So for Damon, Richard, Abdul, and all of us just here live, hey, best of luck trading heading into the close. Seems like we have a pretty volatile afternoon either way, regardless of which way the markets break. Obviously, let's focus on overall trend here first. So I wouldn't be looking to buy puts at this point with how we're focused on this trend up. We'll see if the SPY, or rather if the S&P altogether, can hold over 4,500, not just break over it. So it's starting to break over it here. Let's see higher lows begin to build now over 45, and that could take us pretty nicely into the close. All right, folks, catch up with everybody soon. Take care.